Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the OK Grognard Show. It's Monday, April 6th, 2020, 10:30 a.m. in beautiful Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. Today I'm going to be doing a little work on my Jalston map, which I just keep working on. Remember, this was a map that I got from Dyson Logos. It's his original cartography, and it's going to be heavily modified. It already is pretty heavily modified, but it's worth noting that that will continue to be the case. I'm going to switch over here to a view of that. And where's a good place for my face? I think probably up here somewhere, huh? Staring down at the map. Look at it down there. It's huge. It's huge. It's gigantic. Look at his head's bigger than the Great Mouth Bay. That's the Great Mouth Bay, by the way, and the River Serpentine, both of which are part of the waterfront of Jalston. Hey, it's Nancy in the chat. How you doing, Nancy? She says she'll be right back, but Nancy Hutch is in. Let's see, I didn't actually have anybody stop by yesterday during the quick announcement for the first winner of a set of dice. We're doing that for 6 weeks straight. We've got 6 sets. The red set has been chosen by Snow Quilter, aka Jen Martin. It should be known that, let's see, we're going to change the font on this here, that each week we start a new one. We start from scratch. So this is going to be week 2. Let's do a little typing here. Week 2. And let's put Nancy Hutch in right away. Nancy Hutch. Is Nancy Hutchinson. All right. Got her established in that. There, so that's good. All right. That takes care of the paperwork for so far. We'll see if we get some more people. Hey, Nance. I put you on the list for potentially winning a set of dice. It's a new week. Jen Martin won a set for last week. She picked the red ones. I don't know if you've been looking at those at all. What am I going to do today? Well, I'm going to be working on this map. It's a map of Jalston. It was originally a Dyson Logos map. He has provisions for us to take his maps for commercial use, certain ones. This is one of them. And of course, we are allowed to modify them in ways that work for our own campaign. And in this case, I have taken, let's see if I can find something to show you here. Let's see. Annie Jalston. Okay. Well, I'll for anybody who hasn't seen it before, I'll establish the original. Show you this was the original map set up in 2002 for a product that I put together. And I don't know if I have a copy of Dyson's original map handy. I'm sure I do somewhere. Let me take a quick look in this other folder here. I'm sure I can find it. Let's see. It was originally called Kraken Lalith. So if we can IJK. Yeah, here's a copy. We'll bring this one up to show you too. This is what Dyson originally put together and put out there for people to take and mess with. Yep, that's right. Kyle's here. Welcome, Kyle. We'll get you on the list for the new week. New potential set of dice. Kyle, Nancy, Kyle. In case you don't know each other. Nancy wasn't here last time we worked on the Jalston map, so I was kind of just taking her through the steps of what the map was, the original 2002 version. This was the Dyson map that I picked up and decided to DysonLogos.com. Best guy ever. I think I've said it before, but I'll say it again. I've been a Patreon supporter of his for 4 years now, and continue to be, and will continue for as long as I can afford it. So, till they plant me in the ground, pretty much. And, yes, Nancy is the one I was telling about, who's absolutely amazing and wonderful in every way. Now, you can see that his map has a nice straight waterfront, but I looked at it and I thought, you know, it has some similarities to this, and my campaign advanced by 50 years since this map was originally put together. And so, when I saw this, I thought, well, it's a lot bigger, but you know, we can go a little bigger still. So I twisted it, cut a river down the side, set up a fortified harbor. So I thought, you know, if it's going to be bigger, it's going to need some sort of military presence, some sort of defenses beyond just having a wall around it, especially since it has a location on the Great Mouth Bay, which is a big dip in the northern end of a continent. And if you look at this little area here is sort of comparable to the original map, right? So if you've got the dives and the wharfs, and then you've got the original keep, the original main keep from back in the day, then it almost gets established like that, and then the rest of the city just sprawled out. So we're talking probably 20 times bigger than it was. I would have to guess. Does that look about right? 20 times? What do you guys think? What's the difference between this and this? 20, is that enough? If this was the original, maybe 30? Because everything's packed in a little tighter. Scale's a little different. You're going to break into a song when I say something from a song. You say 40 times bigger, okay. 37.5. Kyle, you're a very exacting man, and I appreciate that kind of that level of detail is important when doing cartography. Version of Photoshop are you using, PC or Mac? I'm on a PC. I'm on a I am on a classic Hewlett Packard. It's not a big computer. It's not a very powerful computer, but I don't play video games. So for me, this is enough. I get a Adobe Creative Cloud subscription, and mainly what I use from it, of course, is Acrobat and Photoshop, but also InDesign and Audition. I started using Premiere Pro, but that's where the limits of my computer butt up against the wonders of technology. Because even as an app, rather than a full-blown program on my computer, Premiere Pro, maybe like small videos I can chop up. Audition I can work with sound files. They don't get that big. But video files after a certain size, just too much. Too much. I don't know, not rendering, but the processing of the files after they've been adjusted just bogs down and eventually crashes the computer. Xmage, go. We are talking about drafting Jesse's cube. Oh, drafting Jesse's cube. You guys doing that online, of course. Jesse Skew's one of the great local Magic the Gathering players from the Lake Geneva area. I believe actually from Burlington. Is a fella much like Alex in that he loves the idea of having a cube, and he's put together a really nice one. I am not sure what the name of his cube is, Kyle, but it's on cubetutor.com. If you want to drop a link to his cube into the chat, I'd appreciate it, and I will pass that along for people that are Magic players and want to go check out his cube. Of course, on cubetutor.com, you can go and draft whatever cubes are there. Most people like to check them out. I keep touching my face, but you know what? I haven't been outside. Just got out of the shower mid-morning, and I'm clean as a whistle, so I'm not worried. And I think, except for going out, stopping down at the lake yesterday, I don't think I've been out of the house for a week now, which is quite a long time. But I'm a guy who enjoys being online too and being at home, so I may well have been built for this. So I was messing around with some colors in another thing earlier, and that's just fine. I don't need to do that anymore. But let's zoom in. So we were kind of working our way around. Right, when I first put this together, one of the first things I did was build this harbor and then start working on building the outside around the outside here. So if this is a big corral, maybe for bringing livestock into the town. You can herd them into here. Trough, there probably should be more troughs. This dead space back here needs to have something, and chances are the best thing to put in there is going to be more little gardens, small farming areas. I think we can grab some stuff from over here. So let's look to this here. We don't have a lot of room. Let's have a look here. We're going to leave that building in, so we need to fill that square in with some. Now, a professional cartographer would probably just take his Wacom tablet and his pen and just sort of draw lines in. But I'm not that guy. I am not that guy. I'm just not that good to start with. Plus, if I do it this way, I get to customize it in ways that I wouldn't be able to do otherwise. Part of what I'm trying to do here is to make sure I maintain the look that Dyson established with his own cartography. I think, you know what, let's get rid of that. Let's go back. Nope. Let's start a new one. Right? It's big enough for what I've got on my clipboard. I'm going to take that. We're going to rotate it 90 degrees counterclockwise. We're going to, while we're here, take this eraser tool and just get rid of some of the extra. This way we can squeeze it in. Squeeze it into a tighter place. Alright. We can select all. We can copy. We can go back over to the map. Now if we put it in here, drop it right in there. Nice. What do you think of that? Pretty clever. This is how you do it also? Nance, okay. A lot of cutting and pasting, and it's busy. It's too busy. It takes a lot more time than it needs to, right? I'm going to drop another set right in there. You know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go back over to here. I'm going to rotate this. I'm going to go clockwise. Oops, where's my tool? There it is. We're going to go clockwise, but we're only going to go like 15 degrees, right? Then we're going to just take 3 of them. And we're going to copy that. Oop. What do we got here? There it is. Okay. Undo the move. We'll go back to the original map. We will drop just the 3 lines right in there. And that's just what we wanted. Just a little slightly off. Few rows. It's meant to be. It's meant to be. Alright. If we go back here and we undo last, I undo rotate. Let's have a look here. I think we can get a few in here, but 3 wide is it. So you know what? We're just going to go ahead and clean some of that off. We'll select the whole thing now. Copy it, head over to here. We're looking to put it down right over in there. Fill in a few spots here. I think we can do better. A slight. Take off the selection. We're going to rotate. Again, we're going to go arbitrary. We're going to go counterclockwise. We're just going to go 7. I know this is all just eyeballing it. It's not very scientific, but maybe it's enough. Yep, that looks fine. Now, something else you can do, if we go back in here, and if we take that eraser tool, right, and just chop off the very ends, then we can actually select all, copy it, go back into here, and tack these on to an existing line, right? Now we can go back in and clean that up a little bit later, but we can do it multiple times too. And if we don't do it at exactly the same spot, then it just doesn't look like something we've copied over and over. Now, since we've got that going, let's go back here, undo it. We will undo that eraser. We're going to rotate it again. We're going to go clockwise. I think that's good. Right? Where am I trying to fit it in? I'm thinking about redoing this little section with 3 quick rows, huh? Is that too much? Will that all fit in there? I think it will. We'll find out. Go back to here, select all, copy, jump over to here, paste it in. Now if we hide this layer, we can take these other pieces and we can move them up away. Copy, paste. There's an extra one there. We can do that. We can do this. We can move that. Oop, are we on the right layer? Oh, selection's empty because we're on the wrong layer. There we go. Now, if we leave that there, set it on up a little bit, we'll have a look with this there. Yeah, that's okay. Actually, on this layer, let's take off selection tool, go back to the I think it's just kind of annoying, right? It's a little off like that. What if we take this, when we merge visible, now that we're here, we will copy this, do another new one, minimize that. And I know this is really kind of picayune. Counterclockwise 7. Yeah, there we go. Copy. Oop, no, we got to select it first. Right. All right. Let's get there. Actually, get ourselves a little drawing tool. And merge this down. Opacity's 100. I don't like that there. I'm just going to get rid of it. We can put a little shack there. How's that sound? What do you guys think? Looks like your farmer was drunk. Yeah, he was. But we fixed it up a little bit. Jesse's Happy Fun Time Cube is the name. For those looking for Jesse's Cube over on CubeTutor.com, Jesse's Happy Fun Time Cube. Something you can go check out and draft. It's not quite as powerful as, say, Alex's gelatinous cube, which is over there too. It's not doesn't reach up quite to that power level. Um, so depending on whether you want to go full bore or not. Um, Everybody seems to like it quite a bit. So go and check it out. Check out both of them. Check out the differences. These things happened back then. Water was not properly sanitized. It's so true. So beer it is. Yeah, yeah. They were just drinking, plowing the fields and drinking. What do we need? How big is that space? It's about that big. You know what? Let's grab this right here. There we go. Copy that baby. Head back over. I think that's probably too big for that area. Let's find out. Oop. Let's do that. Do that. Well, let's that doesn't work for me. Let's just tighten the line. We're on the wrong layer. Let's go there. There we go. And then we'll do the same here. Make a little more space for it. See, now this is the kind of thing that many would say is a huge waste of time, and they're not wrong. When you watch me work in Photoshop on a map, if you know anything about mapping, cartography, Photoshop, anything at all, you will know that there are better ways to do what I'm doing. But do that down. We'll save it. All right. Let's back out and have another look at this here. So what have we done here? We've filled in this space a little better. Could be something there. I may shove another building behind there. Like having some buildings in the back. Originally we were starting to work on this, weren't we? Then we get sidetracked finishing an area we hadn't finished. And that's fine. We are 30 minutes in now, so let's keep that in mind, huh? Delicious. So, I quit drinking soda about a month and a half ago now, I think. I just drink water and put a bunch of this junk into it. Now, somebody will probably link to a study that suggests that I'm poisoning myself. That may well be true. But, yeah, you know what, Kyle? I'll tell you what, if that stuff that I'm drinking, putting into the water, didn't have caffeine in it, I would very much be having a harder time dealing with not having soda. So, I feel you, man, for sure. There's no doubt it would be very difficult for me. But that caffeine, that seems to take care of it. So I am seeing a is my stream slowing down? Let me ask those guys if they're having trouble. Hmm. Seem to choke for a moment. Not on your end, Nance? Okay. Nah, maybe it's just my own internet connection here. I haven't had any problems up until now with an internet connection during a stream. So maybe I've been lucky. Maybe a little lagging here and there is something that is overdue. It's also possible that with all of these people using the internet, sheltered at home, it's got to be putting some extra strain on various systems, I would think. Maybe not. But it's also important to know that where are we? There we are. Okay, sorry, I'm just flipping around through the windows, making sure I got the right one. I was saying something important, wasn't I? Or at least I pretended it was long enough to be well distracted. I am trying to figure out what happened to my other mouse. There it is. Okay. So I've got another older computer that I keep here too, set up in the same room. And sometimes I'll just use that to keep an eye on the web. again to cut down on the number of things I have open in my on the computer where I'm using the big programs. So if I go over here, type in from the other computer, I just want to see if it looks the same. Yeah, I guess because I'm logged in, even though I'm logged in from two different places, I'm logged in using the same. I'm using the same login information. So, all right, that's good to know. Something I needed to try. And by the way, that was second me. But it was on the cheaper keyboard, which and off to the angle, so I'm bound to mistype on there. Anywho, let's jump back in here. You know, something I never finished up over here too. Maybe I should have done this as well. I need something running along there and then back over, and I need to lengthen this to reach into there because this is going to be another corral slash stable, right? And that's easy enough to deal with. We can just take a little copy of that, paste it right on top. We know where it is. Extend the wall. Okay, actually a fence, I guess. Now, are these lines? Are these the right? Yeah, they are the right length. I just need to come all the way down and then capture it like that. Well, it's a new layer, so we don't want to go in here. How close to the road do I want that? Do I want some buildings there? If I have some buildings there, do I want the wall starting way back here? I think we do this. I think we fill in the whole area. We're on this layer, so it's easy enough just to clean it off like that, right? And we need a line at this kind of angle. I think one of these will do just fine, so I'm going to grab one. Copy that. Oop. I got to get down on that layer. There we go. Copy it. I'm going to head over. But I got to deselect because otherwise it'll just appear way over there. We got to put this layer on top. It fits pretty nice. Now we need one coming straight across. I think any one of these will do. Go down to that layer. Copy that. Deselect. Oop, where'd we go? Try deselecting again. Maybe I didn't. There it is. Alright. Oops, let's move that up top. I think we can leave a little walkway there. Let's add another one. Once again, let's move it up top. And if we hit the eraser tool, oop, 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 oop. Go back up to that layer where it is. There we go. Alright, let's merge visible. Put it all down on the same layer. Let's grab a little bit of this here. Establish that. We can use a better, use a harder. And we also need to change that to black. Just to kind of fill that in, right? There we go. Alright. It's pretty nice. Buildings in there. I don't know if we'll squeeze something in the back behind there. We're going to need to put some buildings in along this thoroughfare here. Probably something right there that is part of this. Maybe we should have a compound building, as it were. Something that butts up against there. That actually makes it bigger, but not exact. How about that? Let's copy that. I don't know where that went. Is it still over there? It is. That. It's kind of an interesting little. We'll fix it on the lower side. Then we'll go in here, change the layers. Oop. Go back to white. Make her a little bigger. We're underneath now. Is that an interesting little building? I like it. I like it. It's a little different from some of these others, isn't it? We're going to merge that down. We're going to change this back to 20-ish. I'm going to change this back to black. Head on in. Bring this in a little closer. Gonna smooth this out a little bit. There we go. Alright. So we need to fill this in with some other buildings too. We got some others over there. What if we just grab a couple of those? There we go. Copy that. Deselect. Then over here, you can paste it. Angle-wise, they're a little weird, aren't they? Let's get rid of some of those just to get them out of the way. Start another new one. We're going to paste it in there. And then we're going to rotate it counterclockwise. 7-0? I think we do it twice. Image, rotate, arbitrary, another 7. So we did 14, right? Select all. No, we don't want to do that yet. Let's get rid of some of the so that when we put it in, it's going to be on its own layer anyway. But if we clean up around it a little bit, then we can move these around a little more arbitrarily. Alright. Select all. Copy. Back over here. There we go. Alright. Like that. What if we also did that again? But now we've got this. We just shove that right down in there. And then we take this. Don't forget, this is up on its own layer. Well, with that, and because we cleaned them up, we can shove them around a little more easily. Alright. Deselect that. Let's merge it down. I'm going to throw something else in between. What's at the right angle? That kind of is, isn't it? There's plenty of room in there. We don't have to be too careful with it. Copy. If we paste on this one, it's going to be right on top of the other one because I didn't deselect, so I can just go over and grab it and bring it on in. Alright, I'm going to merge these all together. Merge visible. There we go. Show you the progress bar. Again, this is my system. It's not powerful, so sometimes I just have to kick back and wait for something to finish processing. And now that it's all merged, I will save it as well. Notice the little tool there. Doing what it does. Okay. Alright. So we've fixed that up. We've filled that in a little bit. I've got some dead space there. We don't have to have everything filled in. It's good to have some open areas. We've established where the waterfront is, where the main paths are by having those stones laid out the way they are. Everybody can reach. They can reach this little courtyard over here. It's a little business courtyard or whatever, maybe residential. But there are paths to and from all the piers that eventually get you over and into the main gate. You've got a couple of big pens for livestock, maybe for horses. These are probably more livestock pens. These, horse corrals, they don't need to be as big. They can, and you would need to have large pens for when somebody brings in a bunch of sheep, cattle to be slaughtered to feed the city. You need to have some spots for them, and I think those are good enough. at the end of the day, this is someone in the settings drawing. Oh, gotta run, Nance? Okay, bye-bye. Or for drunk dwarves. It's true. You never know what you're going to have. But I'm saying cartography was supposedly done by somebody in the setting. You're not getting a satellite view. When you look at a map that a DM allows you to look at or gives you a glimpse of, um, you're not. It's not like you're getting a bird's eye view of the actual town. You're getting information which has been put together as a map for someone within the setting by someone within the setting, probably commissioned by a temple or a noble or somebody who's trying to take the take the mental picture of what they know of a town and put it to paper, put it to a visual, to a graphic, so that they can wrap their head around it, keep track of it, or share the information with someone else. But it's never going to be exact. So there was not some NPC that went around and paced the length of this pier and then painstakingly to scale put it onto a map, counted the houses, counted the feet between them, counted the number of windows and doors. So what this is just a rendering by some cartographer for some patron so that they can have an idea. It's probably fairly accurate. Definitely what you're going to get are um, main locations, named locations. There's going to be a lot of residences that either aren't exactly like this but are similar to this, that in number and in size. Um, there's going to be any number of small businesses that don't actually appear specifically where they're supposed to be. Um, but if I've seen this map and I come down to this fork, I know that so and so's sheep pen, Uncle Bill's sheep pen, is over here. So when I'm bringing my sheep into town, I can get to that place, get them into a pen, and then go finish my deal wherever I'm making my deal to sell them, get my money, and get the heck out without getting lost. Because if I'm a shepherd, I may pay someone else to bring them in. I may bring them in myself. But if I go into town on that kind of business once a year, that's it. I don't want to take them in two at a time. I don't want to be spending all my days. I somewhere have a few Pathfinder characters. You do any Pathfinder? I played some Pathfinder last night. That video that I uploaded to YouTube, and it is still on Twitch for a couple of weeks before they erase it, is a Pathfinder adventure. You know, Derek runs his games kind of loose. He's not a slave to the rules, and although it's mainly Pathfinder, we were definitely doing short rests. I think he mainly does 5th edition, and he ported some stuff over. And he also has advantage and disadvantage and all of that. So while the character sheets we were using and most of the stuff that was on them was Pathfinder, some of the stuff we were using in actual play was 3.5 or 3.0 stuff. Some of it was 5th edition stuff. I think at one point somebody was asked to make a wisdom check, so we're talking earlier D&D when you do something like that. Um, but mainly I do first edition. When I run games, I run first edition games. I've run a couple of fifth edition campaigns, but I always come back to first edition. That's why on the new schedule I put up today, I replaced the basic box cover art with the classic idol from the first edition Player's Handbook. Original is, 3 little booklets, and I do try to play some of that. In fact, on the disappointments of missing GaryCon this year, that it was canceled, um, has to do with the fact that that is the one time every year that I will get a chance to play 1 or 2 original edition games, a couple of first edition games, or run them, first edition games. I'll get a chance to get in a game of chainmail, and I'll also try a few other things. I was originally registered to get in a Swordsmen and Sorcerers of Hyperborea, Jeffrey Talanian's excellent retro clone, and I was signed up, and I was signed up, and then I wasn't because some things got jumbled, some things got canceled, and as things were cascading, I was moving ahead and grabbing other stuff. But at one point or other, I was signed up for a Castles and Crusades game, and somebody was running Osric, but I was just going to bring my first edition book to that and just remember that I wanted to turn armor class upside down, right? Um, that's about that. That's about that. Swords and Sorcerers, Castles and Crusades, and I was signed up for at least one other thing. Can't think of it off the top of my head. Some other system. Take a quick look at my shelf here. Like I said, a couple of original edition games as well. But yeah, I enjoy all of the old school editions. It wasn't that long ago, just recently, that I picked up some copies of. I've had this for a while, but I finally picked up a copy of Greyhawk and Blackmore and Eldritch Wizardry, which I hadn't had for some time. And got those in. You know what else I wanted to try and play was, is it Joseph Bloch's Adventures Dark and Deep, which is his kind of meant to be like a second edition. Oh, Swords and Wizardry. I was signed up for another game of Swords and Wizardry as well, which is another. There's some variations on it. So a few people have taken it and retrofitted it to be more like the original box, right? The white box Sword and Wizardry, and then but it's all good. I mean, 60 to 80% of those early systems are fairly interchangeable terminology-wise. If you didn't have the book or didn't know what you were doing and were just being introduced to any one of them one after another without being told which one it was, you'd pretty much think they were all part of the same game anyway. So they really don't change a whole lot. But hey, I am trying to keep this under 60 minutes. So I'm going to hop off here because I'm pushing the envelope. I'm right up on 60 minutes now. So I'll just say thank you, Kyle, very much. I will be in touch. Have a good day. Bye-bye.